Hi, I'm Kamali, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world on Newsfeed today. Fires burn in the lungs of the earth. We go to Brazil to see how people there are responding to the flames. We hear from a Rohingya man living in a refugee camp in Bangladesh. Donald Trump says that Jewish people who don't vote for him are disloyal. Jewish people respond by saying yes, they are disloyal to him. And this tweet says this thing is a rabbit. Okay, we'll explain all later. And top of our newsfeed, hashtag prayers for the Amazon. The lungs of the earth are on fire. Thousands and thousands of hectares are aflame, and the internet has been calling for more to be done to douse them. But while the trees burn, another debate has been ignited surrounding the cause of the fires. The Brazilian president has presented no evidence while claiming they were started by charities in an attempt to shame the country. Now, while that can't be confirmed, what can't be disputed is that these are the worst fires the country has seen in many years, and that Bolsonaro has enacted policies since taking office which have drastically reduced the rainforest protection.
It's the middle of a Monday afternoon, and Brazil's biggest city, Sao Paulo, goes dark. People immediately start speculating it's one of the world's most ominous fire alarms, as forest fires continue to blaze in the Amazon.
Scientists and meteorologists have explained that a cold front with typically like thick cold clouds had transcended over the city. It's winter here in Sao Paulo right now, but that this cold front had also absorbed soot from many of the forest fires ranging in Brazil at the moment, across the border with Bolivia and Paraguay. And even some evidence there that some winds had blown forest fires as far as the Amazon, almost 3,000 kilometers away.
Earlier this month, the state of Amazonas was declared a state of emergency. Last week, NASA released satellite images showing the scale of the destruction. On Tuesday, Brazil's National Institute for Space Research announced the Amazon rainforest has seen a record number of fires this year. Satellite data shows an 84% increase from the same period in 2018.
So this burning that we're seeing in the Amazon right now is a direct consequence of deforestation. This will be people clearing land to make more space for cattle production, mainly agriculture, but also big projects in the Amazon, although they don't have to, but they usually end up causing lots of deforestation. This is burning season in the Amazon when, land is traditionally cleared and burnt because this is the dry season. We have seen quite a significant increase this year as opposed to last. We've seen Brazilians on social media blaming directly Mr. Jair Bolsonaro, the current president, for these forest fires. And with the combination of Mr. Bolsonaro's very shoot from the hip, very fiery, almost antagonistic approach to environmental NGOs and environmentalists, this has created a conversation that Mr. Bolsonaro is to blame for a lot of these fires that are raging.
Environmentalists are calling the fires a global emergency. But President Bolsonaro has a different take.
Regarding the fires in the Amazon, which in my opinion may have been caused by NGOs because they lost money. But what is the intention? To bring trouble to Brazil.
The Amazon jungle is the world's biggest rainforest. It's a vital carbon store that slows down the pace of global warming and is home to 3 million species of plants and animals and 1 million indigenous people. The hashtag Pray for Amazonia was the world's top trend, with this message shared on timelines around the world. The world cried for Notre Dame, but is being silent for the Amazon.
There have been some suggestions of full sanctions against Brazil. There have been talks of this against Brazilian products, and especially those that come from the Amazon or deforested areas. But that's still very much in the early stages right now. So we are seeing a huge backlash, especially on social media. and amongst the general population and internationally against Mr. Bolsonaro's environmental policies. But we have to wait to see how this manifests itself in terms of policy decision or in the real world.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the other things that caught our eye on social media. Now, the old flag, South Africa's apartheid-era flag, is now deemed to convey a message of the belief in or support of racist white supremacy and the subjugation of black people. That's the ruling from the country's Equality Court, which means that if people were to display it, they will be breaking the law regardless of their actions. The judge said that gratuitous displays of the flag were banned, but it's not banned outright. It can be shown for artistic, journalistic, academic, and in other ways that are in the public interest. Donald Trump gave what many in the international media are calling a largely incoherent and chaotic 40-minute press conference yesterday. In it, he contradicted himself, sometimes from one sentence to the next, called the Danish Prime Minister nasty for her calling for his plan to buy Greenland absurd, and said that Jewish people who voted for the Democrats were disloyal, and blamed Barack Obama for a trade war with China, which he started, and then said this as if to add context.
I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it. So I'm taking on China. I'm taking on China on trade. And you know what? We're winning because we're the piggy bank. We're the one that all these countries, including the European Union, wants to rob and takes advantage of. European Union, $200 billion. China, more than $500 billion. Sorry, I was put here by people. I was put here by people to do a great job. And that's what I'm doing.
Meanwhile, in New Zealand, the Speaker of Parliament there did this. He looked after a baby while the child's father, Tamati Coffey, was taking part in a debate. Mr. Coffey has just got back from paternity leave and decided to bring his newborn with him. These pics of the Speaker, Trevor Mallard, have gone viral and are being held up by some as a symbol of New Zealand's progressive ways.
Hot in here.
Well, this is the trailer for a new film called Bombshell, about the way women at Fox News told their truth about abuse and sexual harassment by the boss Roger Ailes, which eventually led to him being sacked and was a major moment in the Me Too movement. It stars Charlize Theron as Megyn Kelly and Nicole Kidman as Gretchen Carlson. Margot Robbie will play a fictional producer who helps blow the whistle on the culture of the company. This film is already being tipped for Oscars. And this happened in Denver over the weekend. Some 150 air mattresses had been laid out for an open-air cinema event called the Bed Cinema, when some strong winds came a-blowing and, well, you can see the results. The film they were going to be lying down to watch is Back to the Future, which is so good you can watch it standing up anyway. Well, next we go to Bangladesh and meet a young man who is using social media to make sure the voices of refugees are heard and their stories are told.
Hi, good morning. I am Mohammad Rafiq. I was born in Myanmar. Now I'm 19 years old.
I take pictures because in the camps there are some issues going on and it hurts me, so I capture them and upload them to social media to show the world what's happening.
This is my room where I live, I sleep. This is my mat. Also, this is my small shelter. This is provided by Turkey. It's very nice, not nice to sleep, but we don't have any way to sleep in another place.
And keep it like this for like 5 seconds.
If I become a very good photographer, the world will know about us. So as we are seeking justice, the world will know about us and we will be able to go back home.
Now, we told you earlier about Donald Trump saying that Jewish people were disloyal if they voted for Democrats. Well, here is some of the reaction to that, sir, by Jewish people on social media.
I think any Jewish people that vote for a Democrat, I think it shows either a total lack of knowledge or great disloyalty. And we keep spinning around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Thursday. The World Health Organization had published their first guidance on the danger microplastics pose to humans, and it makes for cautiously optimistic reading. They say more research is needed, but from what they know, the tiny microplastics, which are larger than 150 micrometers, are not likely to be absorbed into our body and will probably pass through us without doing too much harm. Now, nano-sized plastic may be absorbed though, but the WHO say they must learn more. Despite this, it's commonly known that plastic bottles release hormone-like chemicals into the water we drink. Nigeria may become the last country in Africa to become polio-free, which would make the continent entirely free of the disease. Nigeria has now been 3 years without a case, which the WHO say puts it on the brink of eradication. They say the situation will now be monitored for a few months before the declaration that the disease has been beaten can be made.
There's a very peaceful and orderly demonstration at the Hong Kong International Airport arrival hall. All they demand is the withdrawal of the controversy.
This recording of a pilot for the airline Cathay Pacific went viral. He was expressing support for protesters in Hong Kong. Now, the airlines say the man no longer works for them. They have not confirmed if he resigned or was fired. Earlier this week, the chief exec of Cathay Pacific, Rupert Hogg, resigned. It's reported by Taiwan News that he was asked by the Chinese government to reveal the names of people who worked for him who had taken part in the protests. He gave his own name. Now, an Instagram hoax which claims your images can be used in court cases against you has been spread by a bunch of duped celebrities, including Julia Roberts, Usher, Adriana Lima, and the US Energy Secretary Rick Perry. It's a big block of text which reads in part, "Everything you've ever posted becomes public from today, even messages that have been deleted or the photos not allowed, and that if you copy and paste this note, Instagram are legally bound not to use your pictures." Now, the note is not well written, the word Instagram is clearly pasted in, and it's pretty obviously fake. But that hasn't stopped a bunch of non-digital literate boomers spreading it around to the hilarity of many. And last up, some people on the internet have got themselves confused again. Take a look at this. Now, what do you see? Yeah, it's a bird, right? Well, the video was posted with the caption, "Rabbits love getting struck on their nose," which led some on the internet to not believe their eyes. It's apparently like that blue dress, gold dress thing and like that Yanni Laurel thing. Now, it was posted by a psychiatrist from Norway who was creating a modern-day version of the static bird stroke rabbit illusion from 1899. It's all about the power of suggestion and how people can be manipulated to not believe what their eyes are telling them. At least 8 million people have watched this and 18,000 have commented on it. And that will do you from the Newsfeed team. Reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints and suggestions. You'll find me at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel and you can follow me on Twitter. Follow, subscribe and add, and I will see you again tomorrow.